the deadliest and one of the busiest times of the year between Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend, considered the 100 days of summer. With summer fast approaching, the weather's getting nicer, the nights are getting longer, kids are out of school, and the percentage of people consuming alcohol has increased. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how it is a good idea for police departments to use roadblocks and set up roadblocks in particular areas, times of the day, and channeling individuals on certain roads and highways to catch individuals driving under the influence. First, I'll talk to you about how it's a good idea for police officers to use certain roads and highways to catch people driving under the influence. Police officers will usually use what's called road calculators. They're strips that go across the road. You've probably seen them on the road that calculate how many vehicles will travel on particular roads and highways at any given time at the officer's discretion. What these officers will do then is use the numbers of the vehicles on certain roads and highways that are more traveled, and that will be their focus point of where they will set up their roadblocks to catch individuals who are driving under the influence. During the 100 days of summer, vehicle traffic multiplies 5 to 10 times in certain areas, and the more heavily populated areas and vacationing areas. So police officers use this information to help channel their focus on where they will set up their roadblocks and how they will conduct their roadblocks to catch people driving under the influence of alcohol. I'm going to transition and talk to you about the times of day that these police officers will use and set up their roadblocks. Most of the time during the week, Monday through Thursday, most bars, they don't stay open too late. They usually close around midnight, but Friday and Saturday and sometimes around holidays, they stay open a little bit later. Police officers will usually use this time to do some reconnaissance work, have a plainclothes officer dressed just like how I am now, or in plainclothes, walking around the areas where the bars are and relaying back to the officers at the roadblock site certain cars that they see leaving bars that may have people who are driving under the influence in them, and the amount of people who are around the area. The officer can relay back to the officers at the roadblock how many people they may estimate running into the roadblock at any given time. Between the hours of 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. is usually when your blood alcohol level will rise. Even if you stop drinking around 10 or even 11 o'clock, your blood alcohol level will still rise, and you may feel like you're good enough to drive, but that last drink can push you over the edge and make it so that you are over the legal limit to drive and operate a motor vehicle. Lastly, I'm going to talk to you about the areas in which the officers will conduct these roadblocks. With the colleges being out for summer, those areas are usually not as heavily populated, but those are some target areas that the police officers will use. Main areas, main strips that have a lot of bars and restaurant type places is where the officers will focus their roadblocks and set up just around the areas of those bars and clubs in which the heavily trafficked and populated areas will give the officers a better chance of catching people driving under the influence and having a better success rate of people being caught and stopped before they get in their cars and get too far down the road and hurt themselves or anybody else. Lastly, I want to talk to you about how police officers, they're protecting and serving us every day. It's a blessing we take sometimes for granted, having them on the roads, doing their jobs, working late nights. But with the officers putting in this work, putting in the time and effort to set up these types of programs, this can help eliminate people driving under the influence and keep the roads safe for traveling people, people on vacations, and things of that nature. So it's really important that the police officers take this serious, do the research, and keep in mind that um, not everybody is a drinker. Some people don't drink at all, but by keeping these roads safe and stopping the people who are driving under the influence at these roadblocks, can keep the road safe for everybody else that's driving on the road, and can keep the summer months a fun time and keep it safe for everybody who's involved.